What up, guys? We live, we live. So we live. Gonna be talking to you about that Bad Boys, for life movie. So I went and saw Bad Boys last night, and then I went and saw the Blazer game. So man, this Bad Boys movie, you know, it's the third one, and I brought my chains so I could be talking to you guys about it. So anyway, this Bad Boys movie. This movie is something else. It was jam packed of action. You know, I got there to the movie a little bit late. Because I thought it started at 3:30, but it ended up starting at 3:10. So I was there a little bit late. But the only part I really missed was when they were driving to get that Martin Lawrence's character's daughter was having a kid or whatever. So that's the only part I missed. But man, from the start to the end, it was just full of action. There's this one scene in the movie when they driving, and then or they're actually they were in a foot race. So Martin Lawrence's character, he wanted to retire, and he's like, "I'm out of the game, man. I'm out of the game." And Will Smith's character is like, "No, man, you ain't out of the game." He's like, "I'll challenge you to a foot race." So they went to a foot race. Oh, before I say anything, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. So they're in a foot race. They're in a foot race. And Will Smith's like, if I beat you, you don't retire. But if you beat me, then we'll retire. So they're in a foot race, and they start racing, And then Will Smith's character turns around, and is like, come on, man. And he's like going back. And all of a sudden, this guy comes up in a motorcycle, and then he does one of those, I think they call them like stompies, where he goes forward. And he goes, and then he pulls out a gun. He's like, pop, 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 pop. And then he gets Will Smith's character. And then like the whole rest of the thing is like, oh man, is Will Smith's character going to live? And you're like, of course he's going to live. If you've seen the trailers, he's in the whole entire movie. So that's kind of like anticlimactic, having his character supposedly die at the beginning of the movie, when he's going to be in the whole entire dang movie. So I don't really know about that, But then, he pulled through and everything. They go to what looked to be like a funeral, because Martin Lawrence's character was crying and everything, but it turned out to be a wedding. So that was all good. It was a wedding. So that was really good. And then Will Smith's character is like, I'm back next. I need to find who killed me or who shot me. And this other guy, he's just going around shooting all these people, just shooting all these random ass people, sniping them and everything, It's hella crazy. So anyway, we were about that, And then he's like, you gotta join Ammo, which is like this group of like High School Musical kids. They're basically in like a police department. There's a whole lot of young kids, probably in their early 20s or whatever, just having all these guns or whatever. So then they pick up some guns, and then Martin Lawrence's character is like, all right, I'm back. So he's back, and they pick up these guns, and they go, bad boys, what you gonna do? Then Will Smith's character is like, no, you don't sing the song, So that's kind of interesting that, it is all really good. And then, they go and they find some drug dealer or whatever, and then Will Smith's like, hey, I need to find who's supplying those bullets, is that DJ Khaled. He was playing a butcher, so he's like, I need to find who's selling these bullets. And the guy's like, hey, I don't know who's selling the bullets. He goes, I'm out of the game. I'm just a butcher now. And then he's like, what? And he takes one of those like tenderizing hammers, and he slaps his hand, and he's like, ah. And then he goes and he slams his hand again, and then he like handcuffs him to the table. And then he's like reaching to give him, because he only like handcuffed one hand, I guess. He's reaching to slap his hand, and then Will Smith's wearing this like really fancy suit, and then he goes and he slaps his suit, and he's like, no, you didn't, because you know what he did? He got pig grease all over his suit. So he's like, you didn't just get pig grease all over my suit, did you? And he's like, oh no. So then he gave him the name of the person, and they went to find him, and it turns out that Martin Lawrence's character was like what do they call this? Like a community ed soccer coach back in the day. So he like teaches this guy I think it was like soccer. It might have been basketball. Either way, it's one of those sports, and he was the coach. Anyway, the guy that was supplying the bullets was like the best star player, but he's calling him a dickhead, So he's like, I don't like that. So then he benched the kid, and then of course they ended up losing because he was like the star player. But this is all back in the day, so they got history. Because between this one and the first one, it's been like 20 some years, because they old in this movie, the Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, they like in their 50s by now, in like real life even, So it was good that they didn't really portray him as like being young, because that one really worked out for the movie, and it was all really good. So with that part, and then so they rejoined these people called Ammo, like the High School Musical of police officers, basically, So they rejoined them, and then they go on an adventure, to go get this guy. But then something happened along the way. Oh, the captain got shot. The captain got shot by this guy. And then Will Smith's character is like, "Hey, I'm going to go to Mexico to find this guy, because I need to kill him, And then Martin Lawrence's character just shows up in the plane, And then he's like, what the hell are you doing in this plane, I just want to be here by myself. I need to do this by myself, I need to get this guy and need to take care of some business, And then the guy's like, hey, you know what we say? He goes, they're on airplanes, so this is how they said it. He goes, man, we ride together, or no, he goes, we fly together and we die together. And then people on the airplane are like, oh no, they're gonna shoot down the plane. They're like, no, this is something we say. Because usually they go, we ride together and we die together, because they're partners, and the police officer stuff. So anyway, they get to Mexico City, and then once they're in Mexico City, they're all like showing their stuff, and they get to like some contact from one of the previous movies that he helped out, and this guy was like, we straight from Miami now, and they're all got the stuff, and then they get this knock on the door, they get the knock on the door, and then you know who it is? It's those Ammo people from back in Miami. They came with a whole lot more supplies, and they're like, man, how'd you guys get all these supplies? And they're like, oh, we got them from the DEA in Mexico City, So they're like, hey, if you end up capturing the guy, if the DEA gets all the credit for it. But if you don't, then you screwed. We got like our hands are clean, because that's how they really work in those countries, you know how it is, peoples. So anyway, they go and they find this witch lady, that Will Smith's character was like getting busy with way back, like even before Bad Boys original, and it turns out, guess what happened, guys? Will Smith, he had a kid with her. And then, even more crazy, that kid, it's the person that's been killing everyone, I know, man, like, like mind blown. Anyway, guys, so that was really crazy. And then, so they're all fighting, they're all shooting all these people, like, and they got some big old guns, like, shooting everyone. And then there's like this big old fire, and they get up to it, and then there's a chopper. So then this chopper appeared, and they're like, wait, man, how do all these choppers come up? So then they go and they start shooting the chopper, and the guy's like, aim for the rotor. And he's like, nah, man, I'm going to aim for the pilot. So he's like, tap, 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 tap. And then the chopper goes, it ends up there. And then Will Smith's character is fighting with this guy that's been killing everyone, a.k.a. his son, and he's fighting with him, and then he's like, man, I don't want to fight you anymore. And he's like, what? Why don't you want to fight me? And he's like, you my son. And he's like, I ain't your son. I don't even know you. I want to kill you. You killed my daddy. And he's like, no, man, I am your daddy. And then he's like, Martin Lawrence's character thought he killed the witch lady, a.k.a. The baby mama of Will Smith's kid, So he thought he killed the witch lady, but then the witch lady popped back up again, and Will Smith's character was like, ask your mama. And then he went over and then he was like, and they're all speaking in Spanish, there's like subtitles, so it's all subtitle-y. And then the guy's like, it's like in Spanish, he's like, this my daddy? And then she's like, why do you care if it's your daddy? And Will Smith's like, hey, I'm your daddy. And then the other guy's like, no, no. And then the mom's like, yeah, he's your poppy. He's poppy. And then they're like, what? And then that witch lady was trying to shoot Will Smith's character, So she goes and shoots Will Smith's character. But you know what happened? She ended up hitting her own son. Oh, dang, her own son she ended up hitting. So then they get her and they throw her across the balcony. And she goes, choo-choo, and she lands in the pit of fire, because that helicopter exploded and blew up, because they were like an old hotel in Mexico City. You'd be following along. So anyway, so they were in a old hotel in Mexico City, and it was pretty crazy. And then Martin Lawrence's character had tripped or something, and he's just hanging on the ledge. He's hanging on the ledge. Will Smith's character has him, but he's like, "I'm slipping, man, I'm slipping," and he's like, "No, you ain't slipping." And then he's like, and his hands like slipping down, and then all of a sudden, guess what ends up happening, guys? That Will Smith's son, he goes and he grabs Martin Lawrence's other hand, and they pull him up, So then they're all like, "Hey, we need to get out of here. We need to get out of here," because the place is it's like an inferno, right now. So then they end up getting out of there, and they get him to safety. And then they're like, "Hey, man, we need a medic right now." He's like, "My son's got shot. He got shot." And then they got the field dress and everything on him, And then Martin Lawrence's character was like, "Oh," he's like, "I'm your Uncle Marcus." I think that was the name of his character in the movie. I think so. So yeah, he's like, "I'm your Uncle Marcus. Nice to meet you." and they're like, "What?" So then they get back to America. They're back in America, or they're probably Miami because that's where that. So they're back in Miami, or Miami, however you say, So they back there, and then Will Smith's son, his character's son, because I can't remember Will Smith's character's name. So anyway, they back there, and then he's like, "Oh, I can't promise you." You're not going to be serving any time, because you've been doing a lot of crazy things, because this guy, he's shooting everyone, crazy guy shooting everyone. And so then they're at the very end, that Will Smith's character goes over to the guy in jail, and he's like, "Hey, how would you like to lower your sentence," or something like that, And he's like, "I'm open to it." So then they set it up for Bad Boys, the Next Generation, That's not what they call it. That's just what I'm calling it, because if they're going to have younger people, like Will Smith's character's son in there, and then with all these ammo people, they're probably going to call it Bad Boys Next Generation, or Bad Boys 4, New Kids on the Block. No, they would call that. They would call that, That'd be crazy if they actually did call it that, though. So anyway, guys, thought it was a really good movie. I gave it my Siskel and Ebert, or Robert and Ebert, was that what it was? I'll give it a 2 thumbs up. Give it that bam, bam. My only criticism about the movie, is jam-packed full of action and everything, but it wasn't made by that Michael Bay, because the other 2 ones were made by Michael Bay, and it was just lacking a little bit of that Michael Bay, flavor, that Michael Bay spice, or whatever, So it's just lacking a little bit of that. The storyline wasn't really much of a storyline, because, just full of action. It was a really good action movie, though. Tons of shooting. I don't know if you just got back from the war or whatever. It might be a little PTSD for this movie, because there's all it's shooting everyone, So might have a little PTSD if you just like a soldier and you get back from the war or whatever. So you may not want to watch this movie. But anyway, guys, those Beavers, they play in Washington State at 1 o'clock, I think at 1 o'clock. And the Trailblazers, they play in the Thunder, they play in the Thunder tonight. I don't really remember what time. I think it's 6 o'clock. I think they're playing in the Thunder at 6 o'clock, but I ain't really sure, So all in all, guys, Bad Boys for life. You know, really good movie, really good movie. You know, you guys should go see it. You know, I'm a little partial to it because you know I grew up watching Bad Boys, and yeah, so really good movie. You know, Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, really good. Not a lot of comedy, but good movie, good movie. You know. Anyway, guys, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Take care of yourself. You know, be kind to one another. And you know, no movie tomorrow because it's Sunday, and I take Sunday off. You know, I'm like Chick-fil-A. You know, I'm there for you 6 days a week, except on Sundays. You know, not on Sundays. So you know, because 6 days a week, it's a lot of it's a lot of videos. You know, so you guys can do 6 days a week. But anyway, guys, you know, next video I got to show you is about some pens. You know, I don't know where they're at right now, but I got these brass and copper pens from this Big Idea Design. So I'm gonna show you that review on Monday, and then on Tuesday we should get that liquid what's it called, liquid ice energy drink from that company. They're sending it to me, so it should show up by then. So we should get that review out by then. You know. Also, I also got me some it's around here somewhere. You know, something you know that I need to review for you too. And I got these a while back. I was cleaning up my room, and I was like, "Hey, I should review this." So this is like some light I got from IKEA, you know. So we'll do a review on that, you know. Anyway, guys, you know, I don't want to be wasting your time or nothing. So you know, just like be kind to one another, you know, like spread them good vibes only, you know, good vibes only, and you know, just take care of yourself. Stay warm out there, you know, because this time of year it's either raining or snowing, you know, depending on where you're at in the state, you know. But here it's just been raining all the time, you know. Dang rain, you know. Rain. Anyway, guys, you know, be kind to one another. Like, comment, subscribe, and just take care of yourself. And Marty out. Boop.